Hello everyone, welcome to today's daily news analysis. I'm Akhil Rajratnam. So these are the three topics which I've taken for today's discussion. The first one is regarding Lokpal. So in the 5 years, Lokpal has ordered props into 24 cases and granted prosecution approval in only 6 of them. So we'll be discussing what are the key statistics, and also we'll be detailed discussing regarding what is this Lokpal body, what is the composition, who is actually part of selection committee, what are the limitations, and what is actually the way forward. Okay. So after that, the second article is anemia, regarding anemia. So this is actually giving a fresh perspective in anemia in India. Okay. So new research that has questioned that iron deficiency is not just the key factor which is causing this anemia in India. And third one is regarding India's being a mobility hub. Okay. So this is actually regarding the government's ambitious plan of making India into a mobility hub. So these are the three topics for today's discussion. Okay. So before moving on to the analysis, let me show you a quick quiz. So this is regarding Quick India movement. Okay. This is regarding Quit India movement. So which of the following observations is not true regarding Quit India movement? The movement was also known as India August movement. It was led by Mahatma Gandhi. It was a spontaneous movement. It did not attract the labor class in general. Okay. So you can post your answers in the chat box. In the end of the session, we'll be discussing this particular question. Okay. All right. Let me introduce you to two of our products. One is a 1 year prelims comes mains integrated course. So this will be for the people who are aiming 2026 UPSC CSE examination. And another one is a 2 year prelims comes mains integrated course. So this will be for the people who are aiming at the 2027 UPSC CSE examination. So our specialities are 800 plus hours of general studies and CSAT classes that will be completely online, and also 200 plus hours of current affairs class will also be there. We'll also be giving you the micro schedule so that it will be easy for you to decode the UPSC syllabus, and also we'll be having expert faculty for all the subjects. Lokpal ordered prominent 24 cases in 5 years. Okay, so 12 years since Lokpal Act was passed and 5 years after the Lokpal was established. So the Lokpal is the country's first anti-corruption body. Some statistics are coming out regarding this Lokpal. So in that, they have ordered investigations just 24 cases and granted prosecution in just 6 cases. Okay, so we'll be discussing what is this Lokpal. Okay. We'll see a previous year question which was asked in 2013 regarding the same. National Lokpal, however strong it may be, cannot resolve the problems of immorality in public affairs. You have to discuss. Okay. Alright. So we'll see what is a Lokpal. What is a Lokpal? So Lokpal is a independent statutory body. Independent statutory body. So basically, you know what is independent. What do you mean by statutory body? Statutory body. Statutory body means it was established based on a statute only. Okay, so here also statute means a law. So here also one law is there, that is Lokpal and Lokayukta law. Lokpal and Lokayukta. Lokpal and Lokayukta Act of 2013. So based on this particular act only, this Lokpal was established. So that is why Lokpal is an independent statutory body. Based on this particular statute only, it was established. So what is the purpose of establishing this body known as Lokpal? So it is established to tackle the complaints of corruption. Tackles the complaint of corruption. At what level? There are different levels of this tackling this corruption, and different agencies are also there regarding this. So here it is against the public officials, not against any private entity, but against the public officials. That too at which level? At the central level. At the central level. Why it is only at the central level? Because Lokpal we have it in the central level and Lokayukta we have it in the state level. Okay, so here that's why it will be addressing the complaints of corruption by public officials and also institutions at the central level or the union level. Okay, all right. So basically, Lokpal is an ombudsman. We might have, or you might have come across different ombudsman, like banking ombudsman is there, insurance ombudsman is there. So basically, ombudsman will be acting as a watchdog. It will be a watchdog role. So ensure that transparency is there in the system, and also there should be a public trust. People should be trusting this particular body. So these are the two important things this ombudsman will be ensuring. Okay. So this Lokpal, it is envisioned as a part of a larger framework. So what is this larger framework for reducing the corruption? Because Lokpal is not just the only body which is dealing with this corruption cases. We have other bodies are also there. One is the CVC, one is a CBC, and another one is a CBI. One is a CVC and another one is a CBI. CVC is Central Vigilance Commission. Okay. So Central Vigilance Commission, they primarily focus on preventing corruption. Preventing the corruption, especially through this vigilance awareness and even the advisory roles and all. CVC ensures that. Central Vigilance Commission ensures that corruption is not happening. Okay. And if corruption is happening, CBI will be involving. CBI will be involving, and this is a premier investigative body. Central Bureau of Investigation. This is Central Vigilance Commission. So CBI will be investigation. It's a premier investigating body regarding the corruption in India. So obviously now Lokpal is also there. So that is included in the larger framework. So together CVC, CBI as well as Lokpal, they'll ensure that we have a comprehensive system designed to combat the corruption in our country. Okay. So we'll see what is the origin of this Lokpal. Okay, how this body known as Lokpal originated. So this was first proposed by, this is not something which is very much new to India. So this was first proposed in 1963. 1963 by Dr. L.M. Singhvi. Dr. like L.M. Singhvi commissions and all you might have heard. So he was a jurist and he was also a parliamentarian. Okay, so he was the one who coined the term Lokpal. He coined two terms. One is Lokpal. So this will be at the central level, and another term obviously you might be knowing, Lokayukta. We have already discussed. So Lokayukta, it will be in the state level. We have Lokayukta. Okay, Lokpal in the central level and Lokayukta in the state level. Okay, but still, even though it was proposed in 1963, there were multiple. Despite its importance, this establishment was fraught with multiple delays. Many bills were introduced. Many bills were introduced in the Parliament. The first bill was in 1968. It was introduced in 1968. Jan Lokpal Bill. Okay. First Jan Lokpal Bill that was introduced in 1968. That was introduced by Advocate Shanti Bhushan. He was a parliamentarian. So it was introduced by Advocate Shanti Bhushan. Even though it was passed in Lok Sabha. 1968 it was passed in Lok Sabha, but it could not cross Rajya Sabha. And after that also many people proposed, or many people they brought in different bills regarding this, but still that was also not passed in either of the houses. Okay, and the trigger movement came during 2011, during the Anna Hazare movement. Anna Hazare movement, or it is also known as India Anti-Corruption Movement or India Against Corruption Movement. So during this period only, Arvind Kejriwal and all is becoming prominent during this period only, Anna Hazare's period only. So Anna Hazare was a social activist. So he was going with strike satyagraha in Delhi and all. He was there. So 2011, what happened was like, I mean, like during this period, there were a lot of scandals there. Mainly the 2G spectrum case. 2G spectrum. During this Manmohan Singh's period, 2G spectrum was there, and also this Commonwealth corruption scandal was also there. So two important scandals, two important scams at the government levels were happening. Commonwealth Games scam and this 2G spectrum that happened. And again, many people were striking, including Anna Hazare was there. And there was actually a public outcry that there should be a body, or maybe there should be a mechanism in which this corruption has to be curbed. Okay, so that is why in 2013 this Lokpal, this happened in 2011. 2013, Lokpal and Lokayukta Act of 2013 was enacted. Okay, all right. So we'll see what are the provisions of this Lokpal and Lokayukta Act of 2013. So this was proposed in December 2013. This was proposed in December 2013. Okay, so so Lokpal was established in central level. Lokpal was established in central level, and Lokayukta was established in the state level. So two important bodies for the same purpose, to combat corruption in two different levels with it. But despite its importance, again here also after enacting the act also it faced significant delays. Why? Because you know the act was enacted in 2013, but the first appointment, the first chairperson was appointed only in 2019. So 6 years of delay. It was delayed 6 years. 6 years of delay was there after appointed. So Justice Pinagi Chandra Ghosh, he was appointed as the first Lokpal in the country. Okay, so this is the timeline of this Lokpal, Lokayukt and Lokpal and Lokayukt Act of 2013. Okay, all right. Other major provisions are the jurisdiction of Lokpal. Who all are covered under the purview of this Lokpal? Okay, at the top level, it is the Prime Minister itself. It is the Prime Minister itself. Earlier and all, scandals against Prime Minister were limited. Okay, now the major demand was that Prime Minister should also be included in the Lokpal. Okay, so that was the main demand, and that was accepted also. But still, even though Prime Minister is there, it is the jurisdiction is limited. The jurisdiction is limited. In many cases, Prime Minister cannot be, the cases involving Prime Minister cannot be charged. Why? Because if it's concerning national security, if it's concerning national security, or if it is concerning international relations, if it's concerning international relations, or maybe something sensitive. So maybe something sensitive. Okay, so these are actually the exceptions in which a case against Prime Minister cannot be charged. And the problem is like these terms are very vaguely defined. It is not properly defined. Nobody knows what is this national security, international relations, and even the policy decision to safeguard the sensitive matters. Okay, so there is actually a lack of clarity in this areas. Okay, so that is one of the major drawback of this jurisdiction against Prime Minister. And another one is against Union Minister. Lokpal is also having jurisdiction against Union Ministers as well as the members of Parliament. But here also an exception is there. Matters related to parliamentary debates, or votes cast in the Parliament, that is not included. Okay, parliamentary debates or votes cast. So that is included, that is excluded from the purview of Lokpal, even though they are having this. And other than that, officials of central government departments, PSUs and autonomous bodies. So there also Lokpal is having jurisdiction. Okay, so they are also coming under the purview of Lokpal. So even though it is mostly against public authorities only, some of the private entities and NGOs are also included in the purview of Lokpal. So if these entities, they are actually having government funding that is exceeding 1 crore, then they will be included in the purview of Lokpal. Or maybe they are having funding exceeding 10 lakh from foreign 10 lakh foreign funds, then also they will be included under the purview of this Lokpal. Okay, so these are the this is actually the jurisdiction of Lokpal. Okay, all right. Next one, investigation and prosecution powers of Lokpal. Again, Lokpal of India is having significant powers for investigation as well as prosecution. But another important thing is it has to be the incident happened should be within 7 years. Maybe, for example, if something happened in 2025, till 2000 till 2032 only. Before 2032, you have to file the case before Lokpal. Okay, so there is no backdate, especially this is a new body only. Okay, so obviously things which are, I mean, little more retrospective jurisdiction should also be there, but that is not mentioned here. Okay, but this is clearly mentioned in the Act itself, section 53. Section 53 of the Lokpal and Lokayukt Act. Okay, so there only 2013. So there only this 7 years criteria is mentioned. Okay, and also to promote transparency. Lokpal mandates that the public officials should disclose their assets and liability. Okay, so the public officials should disclose their assets and liability so that there will be some transparency in the system. Okay, and malpractice are also not there. And also Lokpal is having full autonomy. Full autonomy means what? They are empowered to even recommend disciplinary actions, or even they can recover the public funds. For example, if some corruption is happening and some public fund will be lost in that process, right? So that public funds they can actually recover. So that's why they have full autonomy in these areas. Okay. Right. Now, how is this? I mean, who all are part of this Lokpal? Lokpal is a body only, right? Lokpal is a body. So, the composition of Lokpal is very important. So, who all are part of this Lokpal? So, chairperson. So, the chairperson can be a retired Chief Justice of India. He can be a retired Chief Justice of India, or he can be a Supreme Court judge, or he can be an eminent individual. This eminent individual should be having proven expertise in anti-corruption efforts. Proven expertise in anti-corruption efforts. Okay. So, any one of them can be part of this. Anyone can be chosen as a chairperson of this Lokpal, and it will be having 8 members will be there. Okay, in this 8 members itself, 50% of the members will be should be from the judicial background. Okay, 50% of the members should be from judicial background, judicial experts. Okay, and additionally again another 50 percentage of the members should be from SCs, STs and other backward classes, minorities or women. Okay, so 50 percentage, 50 percentage is jurisdiction, experts, and another 50 percentage that should be members of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, minorities or women. Okay, so this is actually the composition of Lokpal. Okay, alright, so who appoints this Lokpal? It is not like one fine morning some person will be appointed. There is actually a selection committee who selects this Lokpal. Okay, so the selection committee consists of Prime Minister. So this Prime Minister will be the chairperson. So Prime Minister will be the chairperson of this particular committee. He will be chairing this committee, and Speaker of Lok Sabha. Speaker of Lok Sabha. So he will be representing the legislative body. Okay, he will be representing the legislative body, that is Lok Sabha. Okay, both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. He is actually the representative of the entire parliament itself. Okay, you can here you can see that there is no representation from Rajya Sabha. So obviously it is there. Okay, and other than that we have leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. Leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. From the opposition also we have a member. Okay, so Prime Minister is part of the executive, Speaker he is part of the legislature, represents the parliament, and from the opposition we have the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and also Chief Justice of India or a Supreme Court judge. From the judiciary, a Chief Justice of India or Supreme Court judge should also be there. Okay, either it should be the Chief Justice of India or Supreme Court judge, and he should be nominated by the Chief Justice of India. Okay, other than that, an eminent jurist should also be there. So he will be nominated by the President of India. He will be nominated by the President of India. Okay, so we have representations from the executive, from the legislature, and from the opposition, from the judiciary, and one expert is also there. So this is actually the selection committee who chooses this Lokpal. Okay. All right. So, what is the constitutional basis of this Lokpal? Lokpal is a statutory body and not a constitutional body. Statutory body means it is based on a statute only, or maybe a law only, and not a constitutional body. Like Election Commission of India is a constitutional body. This is not like that. Okay. So, but still, it is having a constitutional basis there. Article 253. So, based on Article 253, the Parliament can legislate on international conventions. Legislate on international conventions. So, there is a very popular international legislation, the UN Convention Against Corruption. The UN Convention Against Corruption. Okay. So, this is actually one of the major frameworks in which all across the world this anti-corruption bodies have came into being. Okay. So, based on this 253, we have Parliament can legislate based on the on international conventions, and this is a very popular convention uh, in the international level, UN Convention Against Corruption. Okay. Alright, other than that, we have the statutory framework, that is the Main Act, Lokpal and Lokayukt Act of 2013, and also the preliminary inquiries are conducted under CVC. We have already studied that the three important institutions which is associated with this anti-corruption movement in India. One is Lokpal, another one is CVC, Central Vigilance Commission, and another one is the CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. Alright, so these are the this actually the constitutional legal provisions in this particular thing. Okay. Right now, let's see what is actually the performance statistics. Based on this only, the news was that so in the 5 years, what is actually the statistics in the 5 years? So over the past 5 years, Lokpal has registered 2000. This is just a factual information to know how this performance is happening. Okay, so 2000, based on this only, we'll be able to study the limitations as well as the positives of this thing. Okay, so over the past 5 years, 2,320 defect-free complaints. Defect-free complaint means what? Which can be accepted. Okay, so that is defect-free complaints were only registered in 5 years. In 5 years, only 2,320 complaints were registered. Why? Because is our system that much corruption-free? No, because 90% of the complaints are rejected. In this 90% of the complaints were rejected and only 2,320 were accepted over the 5 years, and citing that procedural errors or incorrect format is there. Okay, so procedure hurdles as well as incorrect format, based on that vague reason only 90% of the applications were rejected. Okay. All right. So here investigations were ordered only on 24 cases. In this 2,320 cases, investigation were ordered only on 24 cases, and prosecution sanctions were granted only for 6 cases. So this is actually the performance of Lokpal over the past 5 years. Okay, and if you see the nature of complaints, you can see that only 3% complaints are against the Prime Minister, union members and members of only 3%. Okay, so these are the top level people in the top level jurisdiction. Okay, against the Prime Minister, union ministers and members of parliament, only 3% were filed, or in that in the 2,320 only 3% was there. Okay, 21% was against the group A, B or D officials in the central level. Okay, group A, B, C or D officials in the central level, 21% is there. Other than that, 35% against the chairpersons of members of central government organization. Other than that, 41%, the maximum percentage is against the state government officials. Okay, so this is the performance statistics of Lokpal over these past 5 years from 2019 to 2022. Okay. All right. Now let's see what are the challenges in this Lokpal. We have already discussed something while discussing many of the other provisions. One is the high rejection rates itself. Okay, in this 2,300 plus application, 90% of them were rejected. Okay, so that is a major issue. And what was the reason? It was due to improper filing or jurisdiction issue. Improper filing or jurisdiction. What is jurisdiction issue? Because right, against Prime Minister and all, we have limited jurisdiction only. Okay, so we are submitting again something against the Prime Minister related to international relations or something related to sensitive data, or maybe related to national security, it won't be accepted. Okay, so high rejection rate, citing these reasons. Another one is administrative delays. This also we have discussed. For example, Lokpal Act was enacted in 2013. The first Lokpal was appointed in 2019 only. So 6 years of delay in appointing the chairperson as well as members were also there. First Lokpal was Justice Ghosh, Pinaki Chandra Ghosh. So after that, A.M. Khanvilkar, retired CJI, A.M. Khanvilkar was appointed. Okay. So first Lokpal, he was appointed in 2019 and he served till 2022. He served till 2022. So after that, the next Lokpal was appointed in 2024 only. Again, here also you can see the delay. Here also you can see the delay. Here also you can see the delay. So administrative delays are there in appointment. Appointment, especially in the top agent, top level, there is actually a delay in appointment. Okay. and also its dependency on the external agency. Lokpal doesn't have its own enforcement mechanism. Yeah, it has to depend on the external mechanism. For example, CBI. It has to depend on CBI, or maybe CVC, or maybe state police. So like that way, it has to depend on external agencies for its enforcement, and obviously limited jurisdiction, especially against the ministers, against the union, so prime minister, union ministers, MPs and all. It has very limited jurisdiction. Okay, so in the central level we have Lokpal. In the state level it should be Lokayuktas should be there. Okay, so many states are yet to establish the Lokayuktas. So in that way also, this anti-corruption movement is in taking a setback. Okay, all right. Now there are some committees which have recommended some reforms in this Lokpal as well as Lokayukta. So the second administrative reforms commission, which was appointed in 2007. 2007. So it recommended an autonomous Lokpal. Lokpal should be an autonomous body. It should be having a broader jurisdiction, and it should be independent authority. So it should be autonomous, it should be independent, and it should be having a broader jurisdiction. So that was recommended by the second administrative reforms commission, which was appointed in 2017. Other than that, some law commissions also recommended what investigative and prosecutional capacities. As of now, Lokpal is not having exclusive, these rights are not there with Lokpal. And also some parliamentary committees also recommended the critical role of especially the state Lokayuktas. Okay, many of the states, they have not even established Lokayuktas, so that is also very much necessary. Okay, okay, so these are the committee recommendations. Next, what are the measures which we can do to address this particular issue? One, we have to simplify the complaint procedures. Why? Because 90% of the complaints are rejected, citing incorrect format or jurisdiction. So that has to be created a little more user friendly. Create a more user friendly systems to reduce this complaint rejection rate. If there is a format, just ensure that everyone is that format is very easy to for others to follow. Okay, and it should be having autonomous investigation rights also. Other than depending on other agency, this Lokpal should be having its own investigation mechanism should be there, and obviously fill vacancies, especially in the top tier in the sense from the Lokpal chairperson itself, there is actually a delay that should not happen. Okay, so obviously people have to be aware about this anti-corruption activities, and obviously they have to be taken care when uh, these kind of new initiatives are coming. Okay, so that public awareness should be there. Obviously the jurisdiction has to be expanded. As of now it has very limited jurisdiction against the prime minister and all. So even while retaining that, we have to define what is this national security, what is this international relations, what is this sensitive data and all. They have to define it properly, then it will give a broader dimension. Okay, so that's also there. Okay, so this is regarding Lokpal. Okay, the performance of Lokpal. Moving on to next topic. Next topic, again this is regarding anemia. Okay, this is regarding anemia. So some of the analysis, or maybe some of the recent studies, so they have highlighted that there are several critical issues in this assessment of anemia as well as understanding of anemia. How anemia is caused, what are the reasons behind anemia. We have a traditional causes there, maybe that was also expanded. So the new research is actually questioning this and the iron deficiency as a cause of anemia. Okay, so we'll be discussing that. So anemia coming in the science and technology part of your syllabus. We'll see a previous year question in this regard. How far do you agree with the view that the focus on the lack of availability of food as a main cause of hunger takes the attention away from ineffective human development policies in India? Okay, it was asked in 2018. So we'll see what is this anemia. What is this disease of anemia? So anemia is a medical condition. Anemia is a medical condition where the body lacks enough red blood cells or hemoglobin, RBCs or hemoglobin. So this is actually a deficiency of RBCs, enough RBCs in the body. So what is the purpose of this hemoglobin? In body we have white blood cell or hemoglobin. white blood cells, RBC or hemoglobin is a plasma is it. So everything is having its own purpose is there. So basically hemoglobin is something which transports oxygen, which transports oxygen. Transport oxygen in the sense what? Transport oxygen means here the hemoglobin cell will be there. So here it will be carrying oxygen. The hemoglobin cell, here you can see that hemoglobin, it will be carrying oxygen and it will be supplying it to the organs. It will be supplied to the organ. So every organ needs oxygen, right? Every organ needs oxygen. Every tissue needs oxygen. So this hemoglobin only supplies this oxygen to the tissues or organs. Okay. So basically, if there is a deficiency of hemoglobin, here you can see this is actually the anemic amount of hemoglobin. This is actually the normal amount. Here you can see that there is actually a clear decrease in the amount of hemoglobin. Okay, so if there is a decrease in amount of hemoglobin, what will happen? There will not be sufficient transport system to carry this oxygen to the body. So it will cause an oxygen deficiency. It will cause an oxygen deficiency. Will cause an oxygen deficiency, okay, in the body. So obviously if we are not getting oxygen, we'll be showing symptoms. What all symptoms will be showing? Shortness of breath. Oxygen won't be there, so obviously shortness of breath will be there, dizziness will be there, fatigue will be there, weakness will be there. Like that way many issues will happen. So these will be considered as a symptoms. Okay, so this is something which is having a global impact also. Global impact. So what is the global impact of this anemia? Because in the entire global level itself, anemia is a very serious issue. Okay, especially in developing countries like India and especially in women and all, anemia is a very serious issue. Okay, so even WHO agencies like WHO are also involved in this fight against anemia. Okay. Now let's see what is actually the cause of anemia. Before saying all the causes, there is actually a traditional cause of anemia. Traditional cause in the sense that is our popular belief. Our popular belief. What is our popular belief? Okay. So the traditional cause of anemia, people believe that it is actually the iron deficiency. Traditional cause is iron deficiency. If somebody is saying I am anemic, we'll be saying that okay, you have a deficiency of iron. You have an iron deficiency, so that is why anemia is having. So basically every public health policy is defined based on this only. Okay, globally itself mostly it has become a anemia means it is iron deficiency. So that kind of attitude is there. So why iron? Why iron? What is the relation between iron and this anemia? Because you know, right, anemia means the condition of not having enough hemoglobin. So to produce hemoglobin, iron is needed. Okay, so it can be insufficient dietary intake, or maybe even if you are intaking also, if the body is not absorbing this iron also, that will be an issue. So these are the some of the significant contributions which can reduce the hemoglobin levels in the body, and obviously if the hemoglobin is less, it will be causing anemia. Okay, so that is iron deficient anemia. And obviously the public health policies are also designed like that. In anemic areas, what the government will be doing, they'll be giving iron supplements will be there, iron supplementation programs will be there, food fortification programs will be there, and to ensure that iron. But the new research is showing that it is not just iron deficiency that is causing anemia. Okay, all right, so we are moving to that. What are the other causes of anemia? Other cause of anemia. So now we have expanded our understanding. We have expanded our understanding. Now it is said that even vitamin B12, vitamin B12 is also a major deficiency in vitamin B12 is also a major cause of anemia, and also folate deficiencies. Folate deficiencies can also cause anemia. Anemia. Okay, and it's not just that, due to genetic disorders also hemoglobin levels can go down, so that can also cause anemia. For example, very popular one is sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia, for example, like this, the hemoglobin will be like this, instead of like this it will be like this. Okay, so this is like sickle cell anemia. And we have thalassemia. Thalassemia. Okay, so sickle cell anemia, thalassemia. So these can also be, this can also cause this anemia in people. And also Chronic diseases means kidney failure will be there, kidney diseases will be there, and even heart diseases will be there. So that can also cause anemia. That can also reduce the hemoglobin levels. That can also there. And we have environment factors are also there. For example, air pollution. Air pollution. If the air pollution is high, then we'll be breathing more, and obviously we'll be breathing more pollutants, and that will also be a cause here. Okay. All right. So this is actually the statistics of anemia. Statistics of anemia. So Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So they'll be conducting this National Family Health Surveys. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So they'll be conducting National Family Health Survey. National Family Health Survey. So the latest survey is National Family Health Survey 5. Okay. So in that they have actually found that uh, women aged 15 to 49 in India, women aged 15 to 49, in that 60%, that is more than half of the women are anemic. So that's what they have actually found. And also in the adolescent age, in this itself, in the, if you take another micro level, 15 to 19 years, in that 62%, again here also more than half of this adolescent girls, they are also affected by anemia. So this is what the National Family Health Survey 5 by the Ministry of Health has proved. Okay. So what is the issue? I mean, like, it is not just about whether they are anemic or not. We have other issues are also there. So mostly we will be using this capillary blood samples or finger prick method. So this is only what we will be using. Finger prick method means what? For example, you might have gone to test the blood and all. So at that time, you will be showing your finger and they will be pricking it, and blood will be coming out. You have to press a little and blood will be coming out. So this blood is only taken to analyze the hemoglobin levels. So there are studies which say that this is not a proper way to take the blood. Okay. So if you are taking it like this, the hemoglobin levels will be slightly lower. So even if you are not anemic also, based on the, since you are using this method, it is showing a slightly lower. So that can also be a reason why it is an overestimated figure. This can be an overestimated figure. Okay, so that's what they are saying. And also regarding the global anemia prevalence, reports by WHO said that of the total global population, 24.8% they are actually suffering from anemia. Okay, and mostly it is prevalent in the low and middle income countries because of the mostly iron deficiency is also another issue. Okay, so what are the Indian government programs related to anemia? Okay, so these are the programs instituted by Government of India to tackle this issue of anemia. Okay, National Iron Plus Initiative, National Iron Plus Initiative. So this is actually a comprehensive effort by Government of India to tackle iron deficiency anemia. Okay, especially in the children, adolescent girls, and pregnant women. Children, adolescent girls, and pregnant women. According to the National Family Health Survey 5, um, this mostly women are around 60% of the women are anemic. Okay, so obviously it should be a women. Mostly it should be aimed at the women. Okay, all right. Another one is Poshan Abhiyan, Pradhan Mantri overarching scheme for holistic nutrition. Pradhan Mantri overarching scheme for holistic nutrition. So that is Poshan Abhiyan. It's a nutrition mission. Okay. So here, improved nutritional practices, diet which is having more iron content will be there. Community driven initiatives will be there. So like that, different things aimed at improving the diet or nutrition, so that this iron deficiency is not there. So that is also there. Another one is biofortification programs. Biofortification program. So biofortification program means in the crops, for example, in the rice or maybe in the wheat, we'll be adding supplements. We'll be adding supplements so that the iron content in that particular grain, that is enhanced. Okay, so that is biofortification programs, and obviously we'll have public health campaigns also regarding, so that more people will be coming forward regarding this. So here you can see that one important drawback of the initiative also you can see that now, as of now, the new researches is actually proving that there can be many other factors other than iron deficiency, many other factors which is responsible for reduction in the hemoglobin in the body. So that is also there. Here every program is aimed at the improving the nutrition of the improving the nutrition or tackling the iron deficiency, that is there. Okay, so these are the government programs. All right, moving on to our third topic. So this is related to automobile structure and infrastructure. So the Prime Minister recently inaugurated the Bharat Mobility Global Expo. Bharat Mobility Global Expo in Delhi. Okay. So here he wanted to embrace the vision of Make in India. Make in India and make for the world. Make in India means should be manufactured in India. Make for the world means we should be more compatible in the exports. Okay. So this is what the Prime Minister has embraced in that particular event. Okay, so this is coming in GS3 economy infrastructure part. Okay, right, we'll see a previous year question in this regard. How is efficient and affordable urban mass transport key to the rapid economic development in India? How is efficient and affordable urban mass transport key to rapid economic development in India? Okay, all right. So this is regarding the expo. So it was held at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. So yesterday, January 17, 2025, Prime Minister inaugurated this event. So this was a India's largest mobility event. Around 1,500 plus exhibitors were there, and all the top companies from the automobile world like Hyundai, Tata, Mahindra, Kia, Ola, like that. Everyone was part of this Bharat Mobility event. Bharat Mobility Global Expo, which being the largest mobility event in India. So, what are the focus areas of this? One is sustainable mobility. Sustainable mobility means that there we have to highlight sustainable development like that. So, we are highlighting electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, and CNG powered vehicles which are non-polluting and reducing the environmental impact of that area. Okay, so that kind of thing we are actually highlighting here. Okay, and again we are coming up with new technologies like advanced technologies are there. For example, now the technology of the future is EVs only. Okay, electric vehicles only. So 1,500 EV enabled workshops are also part of this. Even in house itself, we should be having a home charging setup should be there. So that is also there. Okay, so all these things are part of this has been showcased in this particular expo. Okay, now some statistics regarding India's automobile sector. Okay, so now India's automobile sector, it is actually an economic indicator. Economic indicator means what? The nation's economy. So nation's economy can be determined on how the automobile sector in India is growing. Okay, so automobile sector is growing means economy is also booming. Automobile sector is going down means it is affecting the economy. So like that, it has become a indicator of the total national economy itself. Okay, and in that we can see that there is actually a domination of two wheelers. If you go to the western countries and all, you can see that mostly people will be using cars, but here in India there is actually a two-wheeler domination. Should be two-wheeler domination is there. Why? Because because of the young population. Okay, so this is an indicator of the demographics of India. Okay, India is a comparatively a younger population. Okay, so younger population means they'll be preferring this two wheelers. Okay, so that's another thing. And in that there is a rural expansion is also there. Earlier and all, this the automobile industry was mostly concentrating on the urban areas only. Urban areas, especially cars and all, it was the urban areas only. But now it is again expanding to the rural areas with different schemes and all. It has been expanding to the rural areas. Earlier, rural areas and all, cycle was a major. Now it is not like that. Now they are also using this. Okay, and obviously there is a commercial demand for all types of vehicles like trucks, even buses. So like that way, there is a commercial demand is also there. And obviously this is a very huge employment sector. Okay, an industry which is providing employment to many people. Okay, so in regarding this automobile sector also, India in many areas India is a global leader in this automobile sector. For example, India is the largest tractor producer, largest tractor producer in the world, and also India is the second largest second largest bus manufacturer, and also additionally India is recognized as a third largest in heavy truck manufacturing, third largest in the heavy truck manufacturing. So obviously regarding the global supply chain as well as the logistical industry, this India's automobile industry is also playing a very crucial role. Okay, and here you can see that in financial year 2023, financial year 2023, the annual production has reached, in 2023 the annual production has reached 25.9 million vehicles in India, and in September 2024 alone it has totaled to 27 lakh 73,039. Here everything will be coming, like two wheelers will be coming, quadricycles will be coming, three wheelers will be coming, so like that passenger vehicles will be coming. So everything included, it has totaled to 27 lakh 73,039. So that is the till September 2024 production. So this is in the 2000 financial year 2020. So there is actually a significant growth in this automobile industry. Okay. All right. So the economic contribution, which is the how the automobile sector is economically contributing. So some statistics regarding this. So earlier in 1990 to 1993, the GDP share of this automobile industry was only 2%, only 2%. But now it is a very significant player, that is 7.1% of the. So it is actually showing a growing influence of the industry in India's economy. Okay, so beyond this, economic metrics, coming to employment also, around 19 million people are employed in this automobile industry. Okay, so like the Prime Minister has said, we are not focusing on just make in India, we are actually focusing on make for the world also. Now the total exports stood at 47 lakh 61,483 in financial year 2023 itself. In that, two wheelers are contributing this much. Very significant contribution is there from the two wheelers itself. In 47 lakh, 37 lakh is of two wheelers only. Okay, so especially in the two wheeler sector, we are actually having a domination, and 12% of the country's energy related carbon dioxide emission is also from the automobile industry. So that is a negative part of this. There are some government initiatives in this regard also. Okay, so these are the government initiatives in this regard. So we have allowed 100% foreign investment. We have allowed 100% foreign investment in the automobile sector, 100% foreign investment. And again we have PLI scheme, production linked investment scheme. So in that 25,938 crore has been allotted to the automobile sector. Okay, and another important scheme is the PM E-Drive scheme. PM E-Drive scheme, it will be a 2-year scheme. So E-Drive scheme means adopting the EV, adopting the electric vehicle technology. And electric vehicle technology means it will be both vehicles as well as charging stations, that will also be there. And another one, again the most famed one, popular one, that is a FAME scheme. And now we have the FAME 2 scheme also. So this is actually part of the National Electric Mobility Action Plan. National Electric Mobility Action Plan. National Electric Mobility Action Plan, and obviously we have national policy on biofuels also. Okay, biofuels also. So we are targeting a 20% ethanol blending in petrol and 5% biodiesel blending by 2025, 2026. And we have vehicle scrappage policy of 2021. Okay, which means phasing out the old vehicles, phasing out the old polluting vehicles. And also we have battery swapping policy also. In 2022 we have introduced. For example, in EVs we can swap the batteries. Instead of charging, we can swap the batteries. Go to a swapping station and we can swap the batteries, directly take another battery and we can go. So that possibility is also there. Clean National Automotive Testing and R&D Infrastructure Program, NATRIP and NATRAX is also there. Okay, so this is Asia's highest high speed track. Okay, so that is also there. And obviously we are expanding the road infrastructure. India is one of the largest road infrastructure is there. We have a program known as PM Gati Shakti. PM Gati Shakti program is. Okay, so in this PM Gati Shakti program, we are expanding the road network in India. We have around 25,000 kilometers of highways in India. And obviously, we have our own safety testing mechanism. Bharat NCAP standards are also there. India safety standard, that is Bharat NCAP standards are also there. Okay, all right. So this is regarding India becoming a global hub of mobility. Okay, all right. Now let's discuss the mains practice question. Despite its statutory powers, the Lokpal has faced several challenges in fulfilling its mandate. Analyze the structural and functional limitations of Lokpal. Okay, so how you have to approach this answer? So you have to define what is a Lokpal and how Lokpal came into being, like how this Lokpal and Lokayukta's Act of 2013 came to being, and what are the importance and challenges. So like that way you can introduce this particular answer. So after that, what is asked here? Face several challenges and in fulfilling its mandate. So you have to identify which all are the things. Okay, structure, both structural as well as functional challenges you have to identify. So what are the structural challenges? Delays in appointment, lines on external agencies, like that. These are the structural limitations. Functional challenges like high rejection rate, limited jurisdiction, depends on temporary staff. They don't have an investigation mechanism and all that. So again, after that, public awareness and state implementation. So with that way, you can include in the body, and finally you can conclude it saying that um, uh, there should be reforms in this Lokpal, and that should be empowering this Lokpal. Okay, so like that way you can conclude this answer. Alright, moving on to prelims practice question. Which of the following statements regarding cervical cancer? So these are the prelims practice questions of yesterday's DNA. Okay, today's DNA we'll be discussing tomorrow. Okay, alright, so these are questions of yesterday's DNA. Which of the following statements regarding cervical cancer are correct? Cervical cancer primarily develops due to persistent infection with human papilloma virus HPV, which is sexually transmitted. That's the correct statement only. Second one, early stage cervical cancer often presents with symptoms such as abnormal vaginal bleeding, pelvic pain, and pain during intercourse. Okay, so this is one of the issues with cervical cancer, that cervical cancer may not show any symptoms. Without symptoms it will. So that's why cervical cancer, it is very difficult to identify the cervical cancer. So basically, this statement is wrong. So often presence with symptoms, that is wrong. Okay, sometimes it can be without symptoms also. First statement is correct. So A. Okay, one only. That's the correct answer. Next one. Which of the following are likely impacts of rupee weakening? Likely impacts of rupee weakening. Exporters may gain due to increased competitiveness in international markets. So that's correct. The cost of imported goods like crude oil and electronics increases. That's also correct. Okay. Rupee weakening means it will be increasing. Third one, foreign investors may be encouraged to invest in India due to weaker rupee. Okay. So if the rupee is weaker, means what will happen? Foreign investments may deter. It's not encouraged, but they will be deterring to invest in India, since Indian rupee is very weak. The repayment burden of external debt in rupee in terms increases. Okay, so that's also correct. So 3 is wrong, 1, 2 and 4 is correct. Okay, so correct answer will be B, 1, 2 and 4. Next one. With reference to semiconductor industry in India, consider the following statements. India is self-sufficient in meeting its semiconductor requirements with over 90% of the demands fulfilled by domestic manufacturing. Actually, the statement is entirely opposite. 90% of the semiconductor needs are fulfilled by foreign supplies. We have to depend on the import. So this statement is entirely wrong. Okay, it's not. We are not domestically. We are not self-sufficient in that. Okay, semiconductors are used in electric vehicles, medical device, and solar panels. Very general statement. So this is correct only. So correct answer is 2. Which of the statements are correct? 2. B. B is correct. Okay, only 2. All right. So these are the questions of yesterday's daily news analysis. So these are the questions of today's daily news analysis. You can go to our website navigator of narayana.com. So there will be a current affairs section will be there. Okay, so click on that and the quiz will be popping up and you can answer the quiz there itself. We'll be discussing these questions tomorrow. Okay. All right. So in this beginning of the session, I have mentioned a quiz. So we'll discuss that also. Which of the following observations is not true regarding Quit India movement of 1942? Which of the following observations not true? Okay. Movement is also known as India August movements. India August movement or August movement. So that is August Kranti. Okay. So that is, it was led by Mahatma Gandhi, obviously. The Quit India movement 1942. Gandhi was leading the movement. It was a spontaneous movement. Yes, it was a spontaneous movement. It did not attract labor class in general. Did not attract labor class in general. So here it is written which of the following is not true. Okay, one of the major participants of this Quit India movement was laborers only. Okay, different sections of the labor unions were part of it, and maybe people working in industries like textile industry, railways. Everyone was on strike during this Quit India movement of 1942. So that statement is wrong. Okay, so here the answer will be D. Okay, all right. So that's it for today's daily news analysis. We have discussed three important topics from today's Hindu. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you.